Sharma from India. Welcome to our roundtable here.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, and for those who do not know what iTTi is, I wanted to briefly introduce you. We are a global teacher training organization with many places throughout the world. So we are in many countries, and one of our latest center opening took place in India recently, and I wanted to talk to Dr. Sharma a little bit in order to introduce the public to what's going on in India. As I said earlier, we train suitable individuals with an excellent command of English to become English teachers. And as such, we operate in many countries of the world. And India is our latest addition. Good, Dr. Sharma, welcome here to our round table. And if you could tell me about iTTi India and its plans to expand across India.
Thank you very much, ma'am. It is really my proud privilege to be on this round table today, and I express my heartfelt thanks to you to give me this opportunity. We in India have just launched the iTTi India under the aegis of iTTi Global, which is in US. We are starting our first training center in the western state of India called Gujarat, in the city of Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is a very well-known city for the rest of the world. It is the most happening place in India, and people come here not only for business and medical tourism, but it is a big education hub of India as well. And that's why we started our first center here. And as far as our future plans are concerned, we have the entire India to start this activity in a phased manner. So iTTi India has planned to move into a zone approach. So we have divided entire India into 6 zones. The first is a western zone where we have already started. We have northern zone, then northeast, then central, then southern part of India. So this way we will be moving slowly but steadily and spread this program across the India. Our first quarter target is to start 5 centers, 1 in each zone. So that's how we are willing to serve the people who are really willing to make their career in teaching English globally, as well as domestically within the country. So with the support and guidance provided by iTTi Global, we will be conducting all the world-class and globally acceptable training, following all the standards of the training, and our target will be to prepare a world-class English teacher who has a TEFL or TESOL certificate issued by iTTi.
Very good. Now, what motivated you to start this English teacher training program in India?
Yeah, this is really a good question. And sometimes back, I was traveling to a country in Northeast Asia, and after that, I happened to go to a few countries in Southeast Asia as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt that in those countries, people are very keen to learn English, but they do not have any trained English teacher who can teach their children or their adolescents or their teenagers or their youngsters to learn English as a second official language or English as a foreign language. And they were quite eager to see if somebody can help them. And suddenly I found that ITTI is doing this great job producing such
Mm-hmm.
professionals who can efficiently teach English as a foreign language. Then the second thought came into my mind, looking to the youth of India. They are so intelligent, they are so enthusiastic, and they are willing to move abroad to earn their livelihood. So I thought, why not our youngsters should be trained into this profession, and they should travel the world while serving the population of those countries who are in need. So this is how I was motivated, and then I came in touch with you and Mr. Tacito, and uh, I was, more motivated
Yeah.
after getting in touch with you and learning how dedicatedly and committedly you have developed the entire program, which is converting the youngsters into a good teacher. So I thought I should do something for my country to help other countries.
Yeah, you will definitely do that. And the beauty of this program is that we help people who not only would like to become English teachers because they want to become English teachers, we also help those who have excellent skills but are not sure what they would like to do. And here we show them how beautiful it can be to work as an English teacher around the world.
Correct.
Would you have any questions for me in terms of teaching English?
Yes, actually, uh, as a common person, me and many others like me think, okay, we are studying English since standard 6.
Mm-hmm.
It was in our board classes, it was in our university classes. We know English very well. So it is easy for us to teach. Why do we need this particular training to teach English?
That's an excellent question. And that is a question that has moved me throughout the years. Because sometimes you see people and they come and they say, oh, I speak English. Why should I even bother? And
Exactly.
I can just go into the classroom and teach it. Obviously, it's not as easy as it sounds. And once our TEFL trainees, the ones who become teachers, once they enter the classroom and they start the training, they say, oh my God, I never knew that I had to learn so much as a teacher. In order to train individuals efficiently in learning or acquiring a language, language teachers get a training in how to develop listening skills, how to develop speaking skills, and reading and writing as an example. And they also learn about classroom management. If you look at classes in Asia as an example, you have 35, 40 students in a classroom. And as a teacher, you have to work with them. You cannot just have them sit the entire hour not doing anything. It will not work. And just talking to them randomly in English, okay, that's good. They can listen to English. But do we have a rapid skill development, which we want to see? We want people to become fluent. And in order to achieve fluency in a language, and here in our case, it's English, the teacher has to have certain strategies in order to achieve that. And this is not just done by, oh, do you have a suitable book? Let me go into the classroom. I keep them busy. No, you would be wasting the students' time and money. Our teachers today are trained to achieve excellent skills in a very short time, and helping students achieve their goal of speaking English, which in turn will help them in their own career if we look at the development of English worldwide.
Right. And I'm really thankful to you that you have explained this in such a beautiful way. But another question which comes to us from our aspirants, and the question is, they feel that the fee for this 120 hours program is too high for Indians to pay.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and they say say for example, our fees here is $1,200, which is almost 75,000 Indian rupees. So they say, sir, this fees is paid in a university for entire 1-year program. And why you are charging this for only 120 hours program, which will be concluded within a month? So what is the cost? Yeah. Please.
Good. In terms of the TEFL training, it's a very intensive program. And looking at the way the program takes place, either at a center or as a blended course online and then with teaching practice, constitutes a big savings already here in the setup. Why? Because you achieve a professional goal in a very short time. You have our support in searching for employment. We'll help you with that. So it's a very efficient, fast program. Whereas if you study at a university, as you said, it takes you quite some time. A regular BA program is about 4 years. You have to go to university, you have to have travel money, maybe you have to live where the university is. So there are quite high expenses associated with a regular training. That is what you don't have if you participate in a TEFL program. Also, looking at the end of it, looking at the job perspectives for those graduates, they are excellent. And if you are an excellent teacher, then there will be jobs out there and schools will pay you an excellent salary. As an example, the average salary in Vietnam is $25. China was at the lower end in the pay scale. On the pay scale, they increased dramatically in order to get good teachers. And if we look at Japan as an example, the salaries there are so that teachers can have a comfortable life, they can save money, and overall, when I look at the world, I would say that especially in Asia and in the Middle East, English teachers are very well rewarded.
Yes, yes. And apart from it, the schools also provide them free accommodation and free meals on duties and insurance as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
So looking at that, the value that is given to the particular prospective English teachers is excellent. And yes, they have to pay initially. The center has costs. The center has to provide the teacher. The center has to provide the venue where the TEFL training takes place. There is a lot of organization involved with that. So it may look like, oh my God, that's a big number. Considering that teachers have this money back in about a month or two, it's nothing compared to the investment.
You are very true, and it is really, I have also made a calculation. If a student pursue a 3-year degree course and the amount he or she spent on this, it is not recovered in another 3 to 4 years, while the amount invested into TEFL courses is being recovered within a month or two maximum.
Correct.
So I absolutely agree with you. Ma'am, another thing which we face, and we need to give a good answer, logical answer, and the issue is, if you compare the IELTS and TOEFL with TEFL and TESOL, so what is the basic difference between these two streams, and which one is higher in ranking?
Okay. First of all, if you look at the world, if you look at the job market, which is very important because all our teacher graduates would like to work, I can confidently say that if you strive to be an excellent teacher, there will be work for you out there. There are so many schools that are desperate finding teachers. So first of all, then, okay, which course should I take? That was your question. Well, TEFL is teaching English as a foreign language, and TESOL is teaching English to speakers of other languages. If you look at those acronyms carefully, you will find that there is no difference between the two of them whatsoever. Then you mentioned the IELTS. A lot of people are confused about these acronyms. IELTS means International English Language Testing System. And this is a Cambridge test that evaluates your level of English. So in reality, IELTS has only so and so much to do with your career objective of becoming a teacher as to that you have to provide a certain level of English. And if you look at speakers of English, and here in particular non-native speakers of English, they should provide a level of C1 on the European framework, or the lowest would be a B2, and then take continuous English classes in order to improve their performance in English. But this is what we are looking for. So the acronyms you came up with are sometimes mixed up by people because they don't understand the system. Are there differences between the individual teacher training courses? Well, an excellent teacher training course has at least 100 hours of theory.
Extensive training.
Correct. It has teaching practice, and it has a foreign language experience to give teachers the idea how it would be like once they are in the classroom, and overall exposure to the latest methods on the English training or the English teacher training market. And that is what our program here in particular does. Students can be assured that they get the best training that is out there, compatible with all other courses that are in the industry and have a name in the industry. And I wanted to say here, in summary, that our students have found employment in very prestigious institutions. They work in the Middle East, enjoying a fabulous salary. They work in the United States at acclaimed colleges, and worldwide. Whenever you tell me a country, I could tell you where one of our students works. And getting an education is one thing, but using it and traveling the world and earning an income, that is another thing. And I think that is what everybody wants if they become an English teacher. In the end, they would like to work. And that is what we can help our graduates to achieve.
Thank you, ma'am. You have explained this difference in such a way that anybody can now understand what is the importance of teaching certification and what is the level of testing certificates. So it is testing and it is teaching. So
Correct.
obviously TEFL and TESOL will rank higher, definitely, because these certifications are lending you in the classroom to teach those who are appearing for IELTS or TEFL tests like that.
Correct.
Yeah.
You're absolutely
so
right.
Really, we are very happy that you have explained it in such a simple and comprehensive way that anybody can understand the importance of this program. Ma'am, I would also like to ask you a question from thousands and thousands of Indian aspirants. In their mind, they are quite enthusiastic to go abroad and teach. So they often ask us, do you guarantee a job in abroad?
That is really a good question. And sometimes when people come and they talk to me, they say, is there any job guarantee? Well, here I wanted to say the following. Throughout the world, English teaching jobs are overflowing. Schools are desperate to find teachers. And no matter where we go, our teachers find employment sooner or later. Some or find a job still when they are on the program. They know where they want to go thereafter. And others need about 2 weeks, 4 weeks to settle where they would like to go. I remember I had a lady from China, and she was so concerned. At the end, she had about 4 or 5 jobs, and she was so job offers. She was so confused, and she said, I don't know which job I should take. So initially she was so excited about, oh, am I going to find a job, etc. And at the end she couldn't make up her mind where she actually wanted to go.
You mean to say that there are a lot of opportunities across the world?
Yes, yes.
But the selection criteria has to be completed.
Yeah, I mean, just the other day I watched a program, and the teacher, the professor, was looking at or answering the question, how come that some people excel and others who are in the same class, they don't do as well? What he found is, and what he told us was, that those who excel, they leave the classroom and they work independently outside the classroom. Whereas those who just do the work in the classroom and then forget about it, they did not excel at the same rate. So
yes, the level was different.
yes, and that is the same that applies to the TEFL study. You can become an excellent teacher if you not only study in class, but you look for opportunities to learn outside the TEFL classroom. And you can stay with what is offered to you inside the class. Obviously, it's sufficient to help you enter a classroom and teach a professional class. But if you look at the 2 types of teachers, you will realize that the one who did extra work obviously is much better than the one who does minimal work for that.
Right,
and
right.
Hopefully, as a passionate teacher, which I have been throughout the years, I hope that people understand that as teachers we have a responsibility to our students, not only to collect our salary, but also to give our best to help our students achieve their goals. And I think that's a noble undertaking, and that is what makes the teaching job so beautiful. If you see students come, they don't speak English, and then after a couple of weeks they start uttering the first sentences, making themselves understood. I think to watch that is something very beautiful in the teaching profession.
You are very, very uh, practical in answering this question, and I really agree that teaching profession is such a noble profession. And when
Mhm.
you
see the results, you feel like you are sprouting a plant, or you are
Yes.
looking, yeah, you are
Yeah.
looking growing of a plant. And
Uh-huh.
then when you have flowers and fruits on that plant, your feelings you can't express like that. So uh, I also agree with you that there are a lot of opportunities, and your message was clear to the aspirants that if you are competent enough to prove yourself to be
Yes.
here in a particular school, the school will be more than happy to hire you. But if
That
you are
is,
not able to perform
yeah.
whatever you acquired, if you are not able to apply, then you will not be getting a job.
In summary, every school wants the best of the best. And
Right.
if you keep that in mind, you will have no problems whatsoever in landing a teaching job. There are there is need in every country. So,
True.
and I have one more question which
Mhm.
interests me. You mentioned earlier that the fee you are going to charge for the TEFL course appears to be high uh, in for Indian conditions. So, what can you do uh, at ITTI India to help individuals who have or who are not so that they can easily put the money on the table? How could you help them to become teachers?
Uh, yes, ma'am. We are seriously thinking on this point, and one immediate suggestion and solution has come to our mind is we can, if compared to other institutions across the world, we are undercharging.
Mhm.
So we cannot reduce the fees looking to the all expenses and that sort of training we have to impart and the sort of resources we have to manage for them. So
Mhm.
what we, instead of asking them to pay entire fee in one go, we can give them an opportunity to pay the entire fee in two installments or maximum three installments. So
Mhm.
they can pay in the pieces and they continue their training, but the certificate will be issued only when they complete 100% fee payment. So
Yeah.
this way they have some time to arrange the money, and it will not be a big burden over them. And as you said very well, that within next 1 or 2 months after getting the certificate and they get the job, and it is easily recoverable, so people
Yeah.
can definitely think about it. And we are, since it is a mission for me, it is, of course, it is a part of business, but more than business, it is a mission for me. And I would definitely try to find out more ways how to help the aspirants to, come on the mainstream and get their certification done.
Okay. Very good. Now, is there any question for me still here? We are moving towards the end of our little session here, talking about uh, TEFL certification in general, and now specifically about TEFL certification in India, which is going to be launched next
Now,
week.
my audience would definitely love to understand one last thing, that uh, is the certificate issued by ITTI is
Mhm.
legally valid across the world, or they need to do it some attestation sort of thing, or if yes, how much time and money is involved into it?
Okay. Yes. All ITTi certificates are issued in New York. They bear an security sign which marks it as an original. It is attested as an original document of our company. Our teacher graduates are employed around the world by providing this certificate. Over the years, and we have been doing that for 20 years, training teachers, we have graduated many teachers which now are employed around the world.
I know they are working in almost 85 countries across the world.
Correct. So there is no reason to worry that anyone who graduates from our institute would not get a job or would not be accepted with the certificate. That doesn't exist. It is accredited throughout the world, and what you can get, if you like, you can get an apostille from the Department of State of New York, and that makes it an official US document, not only a document from our training organization, but it's an official US document accepted in many countries around the world. In any event, nobody will have difficulties.
Oh, that's really great, ma'am. And this will make our aspirants more confident, although they know it that ITTi is a very well reputed institution across the world. They have their in 55 countries, and the graduates from ITTi are working almost in 85 countries. So that itself is testimony. And I'm really thankful for you to spare this valuable time today and enlightening our viewers. It will definitely help them. They have got so many answers to their queries, and I am very much sure that most of their doubts are now cleared with your support. I look forward to have such rounds again.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah.
And I'm really thankful to you once again from all of ITTi India.
Yeah. Thank you very much for joining me. And I wanted to say at the end, if you have questions about the teacher training in India, you can even send an email to Dr. Sharma and ask him the question. You can send it to me too at info@becomeenglishteachers.com,